Hello YouTube world, my name is Nicholas Vaughn, and you're watching my YouTube channel, The Teenage Movie Critic, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, everybody. I'm so excited to have you all back together again, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a tier list because the new Matthew Vaughn film, Argylle, came out in theaters this weekend, and so I wanted to do a tier list on all of his films. And I officially have seen every single one of his films, so let's go and get started reviewing. And you'll also get my thoughts on the Argylle film as well. Alright, so actually, let me take a minute to put this in order. Alright, so let's go and get started. So, the first one we'll talk about is Layered Cake. This is the first film of his filmography. I thought this film was severely fine. It's a fine thriller. It stars the guy that plays James Bond in No Time to Die. It was good. It was fine. Then we have Stardust. This is a sort of fantasy film from Matthew Vaughn. I think the score is fantastic. This one in particular, the movie as a whole, is not that great. At least you get to see Charlie Cox in something different than Daredevil. Besides that, it's not for me. Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass was a film that I absolutely loved. To me, this is one of the most pleasant surprises because it's a commentary on superheroes while being its own superhero story, and I love those types of shows, those types of movies, and but at the same time, it has its own unique world. And this movie also reminded me of like the movie Super, and that movie came out the same year as this. So I overall really loved it, so it's an A-tier movie. Next up we have X-Men First Class. So before I actually went and did the series to watch the Matthew Vaughn films, X-Men First Class was the only Matthew Vaughn film that I saw. And to be clear, this is a great film. This is probably my favorite Matthew Vaughn film, mainly because everything that this film does, it's great. It handles these characters in such fascinating ways, and when you watch the first original X-Men films, you see the characters in different lights with Magneto and Charles Xavier, and James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender play these two characters to great perfection. Of course, Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique is great, as well as Nicholas Hoult as Beast. All of that stuff is great, and then even like the 60s vibe is really cool, and the way that we get to see the first class of X-Men characters be united, it was just something really fun and unique. Overall, it's definitely one of my favorite X-Men films too. And honestly, even after watching this film as well as watching Argylle, it makes me think. Everybody is talking about who should be the new one to do James Bond, who should also direct James Bond. I personally would choose Matthew Vaughn because he knows how to do, that 60s type stuff, but also knows how to do action really well. Plus, he's done a lot of really interesting spy movies that have this very unique style to them, so I love X-Men First Class, but yeah, like I said, yeah, I totally agree with what I just said there. Alright, next up we're going to talk about the Kingsman movies. Now, I actually think every single one of them are very good. The first film just introduced us to this whole world of characters that are so interesting, and you like all of them, while at the same time it's very R-rated, and then also you really got some really cool action throughout the whole thing. It's just a really good film that's filled with really cool action, easily B tier. And then we get Kingsman: The Golden Circle, and surprisingly, a lot of people were disappointed with this one but I liked it a lot. I love all the action. I like the introduction to the Mandalorian. Pedro Pascal in this film, he's really cool. And the fact that, like, he was in something before The Mandalorian ever came out. And I just overall really enjoy it. And the action is a lot more better than this film, to be honest. So, it's easily B tier for me. And then we have The Kingsman, which, honestly, this took a gigantic approach because what I love about all three Kingsman movies is that the first film is a traditional spy film with really stylized action. The second film is sort of a western, and the third film is a complete on-war film. And to me, that works really nicely. And a lot of the action was really well done, while at the same time feeling like the Kingsman films. And it also tells a story with a son and a father that is really kind of emotional. The score is also great. It also does a nice spin on classic World War I characters like Rasputin. Overall, it's just another solid Kingsman film while doing something fresh and interesting. I love The Kingsman. It is great. I really enjoyed this film. So it's easily going in B. And finally, we have Argylle. And I was actually really excited for this film because I kept seeing the trailers and I'm like, what is this film? And I finally saw it, and this is easily one of the best Matthew Vaughn films I saw. One of the most unique things about this movie is it's a spy movie. It's a spy espionage movie where you have this writer who writes spy espionage stories, and somehow she actually gets caught up in a real spy story, and you start to realize, wait, this was actually her, and this guy is actually Agent Argylle, and you see this, while at the same time, like I said with Kick-Ass, it creates an interesting superhero story while commenting on them. This is commenting on a spy story that she wrote, while being its own spy story at the same time. And I love stories that can do that at the same time. The dynamic between Bryce Dallas Howard and Sam Rockwell are great, and a lot of the action in this film are great. Some CGI is not that great, but there's a lot of great action scenes, a lot of great stuff in this film. So overall, I loved Argylle, and that is why it is easily going on the A tier and in front of Kick-Ass and between X-Men First Class. And there you go. That is my tier list for all of Matthew Vaughn's films. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video on Wednesday. I'll be doing my first Celebration Cinema review of the month for the Lego Movie. So be in tune for that on Wednesday. Bye-bye.